Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mara stock chart planning update video. Just like we've been doing recently, I'm going to go over the Bitcoin chart, of course, and as well as MicroStrategy, because why not throw those little extra bonuses in there. We'll look at MicroStrategy towards the end of the video though. But just remember guys, everything in this video is not financial advice, it's just my own personal opinion, so please keep that in mind going forward throughout this video. And before we actually do get started, I want to go over something real quick. You guys already know, but if you're on the Discord server, you know I'm waiting on a new PC to come in. It's expected to arrive by November 5th. So I ordered this computer. This is gonna, allow me to do the. This is the one I chose. No reason for it. I'm not sponsored by Alienware, Dell, or anything like that. I like it, so I ordered it. I want to rant a little bit because I don't know. I need to call them. So basically, this computer, the one I picked, comes with a 4070 on RTX 4070, which is a 12 gig VRAM GPU, 13 Gen i9 with 24 cores, 32 gigs of RAM. It's liquid cooled, so this has a picture of an air cool, but it's not that. It's this one. It's gonna bring this, but then I ordered it, and then like the next day, which was yesterday, I looked at the specifications one more time, and I noticed I'm like, this is kind of weird. It says a 120 millimeter fan for the radiator for the liquid cooling, and then I'm like, I don't know if that's enough for an i9, but I'm like, you know what? On their website it says it's fine. I don't know if it's like two 120 millimeter fans and they didn't like write it down correctly, and the radiator stretches across, or it's a smaller radiator and then it's just like additional airflow for the case. I'm not sure. I'm gonna call tomorrow their number for Dell, and I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna have them specify all this, and then also the one thing that concerns me the most is that it has supposedly a 500 watt platinum PSU. I don't know if that's enough either. Like, it's standard, it's what comes with it. You can upgrade it, but I didn't modify anything in my order. I did add an additional storage, but it says if you try changing it to a different CPU, it does say, oh, you need the 1000 watt and the better cooling. I don't know if all of this is accurate, so I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna have to specify that if it's okay or not. So at least I have someone to reference to in case when the computer does come in soon, within the next like week and a half. And then if there is something wrong with it, I'll be like, well, this person said it's not. It'll be fine. Here's when I called the number. So I don't know. I'm kind of worried about it. But if you guys know, help me out. If you guys know, will a 500 watt platinum PSU support a 13 Gen i9 and a 4070? It's not a Ti, it's just a regular RTX 4070. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know if like Alienware like downclock stuff so it doesn't run as hot or like as powerful. I don't know. But it says RTX 4070, 13 Gen i9, 500 watt platinum PSU should work fine. So I don't know. So that we'll see what happens. Right? It was on sale too. So overall, it ended up costing me with tax and the additional storage like a couple dollars under 1800. So I think that's a pretty good deal. But we'll see what happens. If I for some reason do have to upgrade, it's only like $150 more for the other stuff. But we'll see. I just want to see what they say. I have to wait till tomorrow, Monday, for them to call. But either way, guys, with Mara, right? We're gonna go over Bitcoin first so we can better understand the structure. If you guys know from last video, I did say that Friday, which was, is today Saturday or Sunday? Oh, it's Sunday. Cool. Market opens tomorrow. That's right. So tomorrow's Monday. So I said on Thursday's video, or yeah, Thursday. I don't know. Whatever. My last, it was a Bitcoin portfolio update video. It wasn't even a chart planning video. On my last video, I said Friday I'm expecting Bitcoin to fall because, let me show you guys here. Let me give you guys some context in case you're new. It's been going up ever since, so it's forming more like a triangle pattern now, which is very interesting, and I really like that actually, so I'm going to go over that in a moment. But I kept saying back here, we're like, oh, we can come down. We ended up trying to find support here, but we did end up falling into our more important major overall support area, starting from the swing low all the way up to here. Then we came down and we actually broke into it briefly. We ended up retesting it one more time, but when we were here, I told you guys on a previous video that this area can act as a magnet. This this green area, because I personally see some imbalance in this area. It's there on like the 1 hour a little bit. It's there on the 1 day as well. I'm just gonna stick with the 4 hour. So this can act as a magnet from down here. Regardless if we see lower prices, so we had a 3-wave pattern, super shallow, super minor. So I said there's still a possibility of a larger 3-wave pattern. So we came up to this area, making that B wave, and then we came back down, retesting. We can potentially still see the 3rd wave come down and into this overlapping support area right here in red. Still completely possible, although now with elections coming up soon, like a week and a half away, and we're starting to form a triangle pattern. We did have the RSI come down here. This didn't even top out the RSI around that 70, and instead we came back down. So I am starting to believe that we're gonna just see a triangle pattern form, which would then, and then this was Friday when the price fell down Friday. And then ever since then, we just been seeing a little bit of, kind of bullishness happening. It was completely fine. So with that being said, we can potentially be looking at something in this nature. It's going to be tough, but I'm just going to do that. I can't even use the last, but these are 2 touch points basically. This is super shallow, so this is just 1 touch point in my opinion, 2, and then 2 here should be fine. So we're looking at something potentially more like this, where we can see it again show more resistance here, come down, and then use this as a support, and then come back up, or we can just see a breakup from here. This is completely possible now with the momentum that we're getting. Regardless of all the bullish news we have out there, we can also look at some heat maps, right? So we did come up, we found somewhat of resistance up here, if I can, so then we came up, we've been dropping ever since after this nice little rally, kind of consolidating, not seeing too much of anything crazy happening, but then we did see this price jump up, breaking over this resistance, creating potential liquidity, and it was a liquidity, a way for it to form liquidity, because then it started breaking down below this swing low, and now it's retesting this swing low. So I don't think this was a break of structure, but we'll see if this is just another form of liquidity to further strengthen this potential triangle pattern case, which we will find out. I think within the first 2 days of this trading week starting tomorrow, we can potentially see if this is going to happen, because now it looks like we're using this value area as a resistance. So we just have to wait and see within the next 2 to 3 days what's really going to happen. But the reason this is very important is because regardless if we do see that one more low scenario from this higher low area, if we see that come down, we can then have a new higher low down here from this previous higher low. It'll be more meaningful because that means it will be around this. You guys can't, I don't think you can see it too well, so let me zoom in. If we do see that one higher low scenario, which is actually a lower low from this one, it can bring us down to this 0.35 that we have right here, between the 0.35, potentially even the 0.618 around this area. And this will be very, very nice, because it will also show support from this swing high and this swing high right here and this one. So this whole value right here can act as a magnet as well. But I'm positioned with so this is how I'm personally managing my core Bitcoin, and this is going to translate to Mara as well. For those of you that trade Mara, which is most likely why you're here either way. If we do see this 3rd wave, it'll be much more meaningful. It will strengthen the bull case of finally making our next leg up into this area, where then we can see another reasonable correction before we start moving up into the second leg up from this one. So it'll be up here. We can either see that happen as soon as like today or tomorrow or just this week, which will be the last full week of October. We can just see it continue bouncing up from here. It can maybe just do a little bit of a dip and then bounce up from here, or we can see a reasonable dip happen. Regardless, we did have that reasonable dip here, but it did not have a body of a candle close, showing more potential bearishness, which can also push Mara down as well. But then we also have a triangle pattern forming, which can just be bullishness to push it up from here. Regardless, I'm positioned with the belief that we're going to very soon, start moving up higher. Yeah, there we go. Let me push downward to the right. With the belief that we're going to start moving up higher, regardless if we come down to this area. If we come down to this area down here, I'm not too worried about it, just because this, in my opinion, this is going to be very, very short-lived. I don't believe that we're going to be in this area for long. I believe it's going to be super quick, come back up, because again, with elections coming up, which is going to be very volatile, and I personally believe it's going to be a very bullish case for Bitcoin. Plus, the end of October is coming up, and that can also create a lot of FOMO and a lot of fear based on, current investor sentiment levels, and just people believing that towards the last week of October is going to be like very bullish and all that. So that can also be the case. But regardless, talking about current like what's happening right now, how can we manage this position right now? I'm personally seeing this as it's if you are willing to hold on to this, in my opinion, I feel like if anyone that's willing to hold on to this till the end of November, you're going to be fine. Especially if you're waiting till New Year's, or if you're waiting till like the end of January or sometime in February to sell. I will highly recommend you guys hold till October, November next year. But if you're looking at more short-term trades, if you fall into that ballpark that you're willing to hold for another month or two, between 1 to 3 months, it's a perfect swing trade in my opinion. I think there's a really, really good opportunity to buy for those trades if you're looking for more like super short term, like you're trying to get in and out same day or in and out within the first 48 hours of opening your trade. So like 2 days, then it will make more sense to just have some patience. Even if it runs up a little bit more, have some patience, because I personally believe, and I could be absolutely wrong because I'm not basing my trades off of this, but we can see this come down, retest, and then maybe push up higher from here. But I don't really care about that. That's not how I manage my trade. If you guys are super short term on it, like 24, 48 hour trades at max, then just understand there could be some short term volatility that can shake you out and kind of mess up your short term trades. But that's not how I'm managing mine. I'm looking, like, I just accumulated all my BITU position that I showed you guys on the last video as well. So I'm and then but when it comes to Mara, though, this is where it's important. So Friday, just like expected, Friday was a bear day. We're coming down. We still have, I would like to see the RSI come down even further, closer to the 30. I would like to see this uptrending support line also be touched, which is maybe why the potential of Bitcoin to come down and retest this support, this ascending support for this triangle pattern. If we come down to that, then that's when we can see Mara also, in a more ideal world, come down and find support there as well. As you can see, it can also slightly break below it, because technically this is the true support line in my opinion, and we did break below this one a little bit, so it can be the same thing with this. Mara has been holding up really nicely. Even when Bitcoin takes some pretty good dips, Mara has been showing, because honestly, I thought Mara was gonna like touch the 10s or trade around the 10s, and never did, even when Bitcoin was having those big dips into this purple area, and then having these more significant dips down here. Like, man, it's been holding up quite well. So maybe we won't see too much of a sell off with it. So we will probably the chances are still there because um also it makes sense that it topped out right here, because also super simple, if you just take the trading area before this push up, it went in here and it just like became so overbought into this area that it made sense for it to start correcting. But regardless, the possibility of it coming down to the red once again is still there, absolutely still there. Although, which is why I'm gonna move it to the right. Although we are starting to see enough bullishness into the stock based off of Bitcoin, we can still see Bitcoin come down a little bit more to test that support area, which can make Mara also come down and test the support area and trade around it just like it did here. And then some fluctuations just like this. So this is still possible, but what I'm gonna go ahead and say the same thing I always say, is that personally, no matter what happens, this continues to be a slight accumulation area, which I'm not gonna continue. But if you guys are new to this stock or just haven't taken a position yet, this can also potentially be an accumulation area for you guys. But I recommend you guys just make sense of the chart yourself and not base your trades at all based on my chart. Again, this is a way for me to show you guys what I'm looking for. So this is potential support for this correction. Slight selling area, because why be hopeful, right? Why be hopeful? Bullish news does not mean prices will go up. The chart's going to tell you most likely what it's going to do. Which is why I believe Friday was going to be a bear day. So I had a bear day. It can still have some more room to come down. We can easily see, based on Bitcoin also showing a little bit of bearishness just short term, we can potentially see this line being touched once again. I'm not saying it's going to respect the line, but we can easily see the candlestick break this line. So just keep that in mind. I'm still looking for a little bit more of short-term bearishness into this stock. We can easily see that 0.618 being broken. If that's the case, then I think it's a pretty good idea to start, kind of taking some small positions on it. I mean, putting in some small positions, because we can easily see a little bit of a push up there as well, because we are technically making major swing highs from here and then made higher lows as well. So it looks like we are trying to form a bullish pattern. But regardless, I'm still looking at short term. Easily we can touch this 0.65. But you guys can, absolutely trade based on your own personal belief. Also, little swing high right here, perfectly lining up around that 0.618. So there's a lot of value there. Especially all this fluctuation here continues to fluctuate here a little bit, still acting, that can easily act as a magnet. So we can see the 0.618 being broke below quite easily. And again, that's with the possibility that, with the belief that Mara, regardless if it has a little bit of a pump, with the belief that Mara is still going to continue this triangle pattern right here, with the potential of seeing a much more reasonable correction down here. Again, I'm placing my trades like if this is gonna happen quick. If it does happen, it's gonna happen so quick. It might happen when everyone's sleeping for the majority of US traders. It might happen that, and then it comes back up. Regardless, I don't really care. That's why I'm basing my trades off of, higher prices regardless soon. If it comes down, if it just comes up, it's gonna happen super quick in my opinion. So yeah, guys, that's my opinion on Bitcoin. I'm not worried about this whatsoever. This is something that the more this is delayed, the more strength the next leg up will have, and the more rewarding it will be for those of you that take a position, that are taking advantage of the trends, right? And at least that's my opinion, of course. And I can absolutely be wrong, and like it can go down. I can lose a lot of my spot Bitcoin position, and then lose like 50% easily of like my BITU position or whatever. But I'm taking those trades based on how I just made sense of, I see much higher prices on Bitcoin happening soon, regardless if we see that one more dip. If we see If we see Bitcoin respect that lower trend line for the triangle pattern, we can easily see Mara also find support around here. It may not be perfectly, it may look something like this where it's not perfect, but it will find support somewhere around here between potentially like 1580, 1590, and like, 1660. Absolutely. This, because as you guys can see, the volume here, like just looking at the candles alone, like we can so easily see there's still plenty of selling going on. Pretty strong bearish candles, and then yeah, guys, like just, but regardless, if we do see Bitcoin have that more reasonable correction into the overlapping red support areas on those fib extensions, then we can easily see Mara once again retest the red area, which is very, very possible, retesting this red area. This is why, regardless, short term, we can see a little bit of bearishness. Potentially, we can even see a fake out from there. Like it can be like it comes down here, goes up, making everyone think it's going to respect the trend line, and then it just fakes everyone out and then comes down even lower. This is why it's so important to manage your position size, because this is so likely. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Mara, as you guys know. I'm looking at higher prices, potential, like soon enough, higher prices, especially when Bitcoin goes to like between 85 and 95,000. We can easily see at a minimum this being broken higher. It might not reach this area up here. It might not, but it will for sure break this, and it'll start trending and retesting this swing high up here as well. So guys, short term, I'm bearish short term. It makes more sense, but I am positioning myself as if this short-term bearishness that I believe will happen is going to play out super quickly. It will probably happen when I'm playing video games or sleeping, like, to be honest. And then, but I could be wrong. And then with MicroStrategy, we did see it come up into this area. Regardless if we see some bearishness with Mara or Bitcoin tomorrow or like for the first half of next week, I'm not saying I completely see that with MicroStrategy. We did have these areas get filled. We didn't have this filled. We actually ended up respecting this 0.35, came up higher. We did come into our magnet area right here where we have imbalance. The price briefly came in here, so if you guys were to pay attention to that, you might have taken advantage of it. And then we ended up breaking up higher. Now, since we did break past this area, that last video, that's also when I drew this area out. So I'm like, we can easily see the prices. So this is Friday and we're up here. We closed it and I'm like, we have enough bullishness here. Volume looks good. Like, this is a very strong candle. We can easily see the price come into this area, which is basically from here to here to here, creates this area. And I'm like, we can easily see the price come up to here. Now, just because, like, as you guys can see, any area that looks like it's acting like as a magnet, just like this one, even a wick into that area is enough to fulfill the area. That's minimum requirements. Wick came down here, filled in the area, and that's completely valid. We're seeing that here once again. So the potential, if we see tomorrow, Monday, bullish candle, Monday closes, and we are not seeing like a strong bullish candle, is kind of weak, and we didn't even surpass this swing high, that potentially that can, give us a sign that the stock is going to super quick short term retest this swing low right here where it had the little break of structure short term, and then it continue up higher potentially. I strongly believe no one should be underestimating the stock. Any small pullback on the stock, in my opinion, regardless of this amazing bullishness right here, is still acting as a, so the fourth wave, we're not using that anymore for right now until we have more evidence of what's going on. But I personally believe even the slightest reasonable pullback is amazing to buy in this stock, just because I believe Bitcoin's going to end October a little bit higher. We still have like a week and a half. I believe November is going to be very bullish. Personally, I believe that. Absolutely, I could be wrong. We can see the stock easily come down back below 200. Absolutely possible. But I do believe by the end of this year, we will see the stock at 300, possibly even next month. But But I'm not trying to be optimistic or create hype. I'm just saying that they do a really, really good job at managing their company. People are believing in it. People that want to invest in Bitcoin are pretty much invested in MicroStrategy because it's basically leveraging Bitcoin at that point, and just like BITU, but at an even bigger extent. So regardless of the small wick minimum requirements from it, I still want to see a body of a candle close within this area. So I believe next week is going to be a bullish week for MicroStrategy. I'm not saying it will be or will not be a bullish week for Bitcoin, and I'm not saying it will or not be a bullish week for Mara. But with MicroStrategy, I personally believe it will be a bullish week. Most likely, the week may start off a little bit in the red. We might see a little bit in the red. There's not much imbalance anywhere. It'll be very tough to see. We may start off a little bit in the red. Maybe any weakness in MicroStrategy next week. I personally believe it's a good buying opportunity, and I feel like we may end the week up here. Worst scenario, if we don't end the week there, when is it? Oh, actually, this isn't the last full trading week. Actually, Friday is going to be November 1st. I should have paid attention to my calendar. Friday is actually going to be November 1st. Oh, where am I? Okay, so yeah, yeah, no, it's going to be a bullish week for MicroStrategy, in my opinion. There's enough evidence for me to believe that. We'll see what happens. Please do not base your own trades on that. And if you do follow my trade, just understand I can obviously be wrong. I can lose money. I'd rather lose money myself, for example, than have you guys lose money. And to be completely clear, I don't have any positions with MicroStrategy right now. I'm not going to be taking any positions right now. I'm just chilling. I'm just sitting back because there's so much volatility. Elections are coming up. I don't care if I'm bullish on it. I have, another position. I'm more than happy to just focus on that with BITU. And honestly, so if you guys take part in this, just know I'm not taking part in it. But I do believe it's going to be a bullish week for it. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. Hope you guys enjoyed. And this is what October looks like so far. So we can potentially see the next 4 days. Yes, the next 4 days we can possibly even see this come back to the tens. We'll see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and take care, guys. I'll catch you guys soon.